Hi everyone, welcome to Perpetually Read. I'm Fox, and I'm going to do my August TBR. And with the start of August, we have the beginning of G from Book Rose Magical Readathon, Orilium. And so she made this whole syllabus with prompts, and we have classes to take. It's going to be great. So my big thing for August is I'm going to attempt to read 42 books, one for each of the prompts, and then another 11 books for the quest lines. So I have a lot to run through. I have them in these cute little covers I cut out, which I'm going to use later for my reading journal, which I'm super excited about. I plan on sharing videos of that as well. So join me if you like. Okay, so let's go. We got a lot to read through. Okay, Alchemy, Basic of Poisons. The prompt is a book on someone's worst list that you think you'll like. So I'm going with A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. So I saw this on Kayla's Books and Lala, and she didn't like her very much, so I'm hoping that I will, though. Seems interesting. She said it was very culty, so we'll see. And then the second class in Alchemy is Poison, Acidic Amber. The prompt is to read an orange book. I chose City of Orange by David Yoon. So guy with amnesia wakes up in a place that he doesn't know. That's all I know about that. Poison Willowweed, a one-word title. Going with Gingerbread by Helen Oyeyemi. So this one has a mother-daughter making gingerbread, and there's something magical happening there. That's all I know. All right, a study. Now we're into animal studies. Study in familiars. Book with a familiar and animal companion, or an animal companion. I'm going with Pokemon. This is Adventures XY Volume 1. Let's see. Yep. So, what's a better animal companion than a Pokemon? I don't know. My cat is staring at me right now, so whoops. Familiars, Raven on the cover, or Raven in title. In Company of Crows and Ravens, John Mesloff and Tony Angel. So this is a nonfiction, and it's about crows and ravens. And I think it's like what they tell us about the culture, what the culture thinks of them, and what that tells you about any particular culture. All right, now we have Familiar's Hare, a rabbit on the cover, or in the title. I'm going with this manga. That's Honey So Sweet by Amu Meguro, Volume 1. This one is this girl, and there's this guy with the bunny mask is like a delinquent or some sort, and I'm assuming they fall in love. I don't really know. Blurface, a book you don't know much about. There's many of them, but I chose Miss Subways by David Duchovny. And I chose this book because it was by David Duchovny, and it looked like it would be odd. So, okay. A Minor Illusion, a book under 300 pages. I chose Tropical Fish Yearns for Snow, Volume 3, which I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 on this list. So I've read 1, and it was very cute. It's a slice of life romance. So let's see. This doesn't have the two girls on it, but it's two girls being cute. All right, let's see. Cast Deja Vu. Pick a prompt from last semester. I chose the one that was read a manga. So it's Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 4. Again, I have 2 through 5 or so on the list in different classes, for different classes. All right. I don't know how to read that, but it's astronomy, and it's one of the moons, Lilivy? Not sure. Letter L in the title. I have the language of sand. This is it's a short, it's a novella, and it's by Ellen Block. And I think she really enjoys the written word, so we'll see. Books with archers or rangers. I'm gonna go with Hawkeye, Little Hits. A book with multiple people on the cover. A tropical fish yearns for snow. Number 2, and here they are. Aren't they cute? Those are the two that are in love in this story, or who fall in love in this story. So, okay, now we're in Conjuration and the Foundations of Necromancy themes. Tokyo Ghoul, Volume 1. I haven't read this. It's maybe a little too dark for me, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna at least read this first volume. I don't know if I'll go any further than that, but there we go. Let's see. A bone on the cover. We have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I haven't actually read anything by T. Kingfisher, but I have 3 books on this TBR, so I hope I enjoy her, but I think I will. And I think this person has to make a cloak out of nettles, but that's as far as I know. And I think it's kind of fairy-like. All right, reread a favorite. So this is one of my favorites, Maplecroft by Cherie Priest, and it's a Lizzie Borden and H.P. Lovecraft crossover fic. So some good axe battles in that. All right, read a fantasy. For now, we've switched over to Demonology. This is Our Lady of the Ice, and it's like Antarctica, and there's a dome city, and the dome is failing, and there's like AI and stuff. So it said it was sci-fi and fantasy, so I'm using it for this prompt. Looks pretty good. It's by Cassandra Rose Clark. All right, so I used a random number generator to pull this one. I'm really interested to read this one. It's Out There by Cake Folk, and this is a kind of set in, this is a short story collection set in kind of a futuristic, I think, or maybe not futuristic, but it's like interesting stories, weird stories from the point of view of women in speculative worlds. That's, I think. So, okay. A book that's at a risk of being unhauled. This is one of the very few books that I own that I'm reading for this one. The rest are going to be library books. So, this is Epidemic of the Living Dead by John Russo. Yeah, so this is a zombie tale. I don't know. I'm a fan of zombies sometimes, and then other times they're nightmare inducing. Okay, so I picked out a random book, and it just so happened that one of my A tropical fish yearns for snow was adjacent to it, so it made it for this one. This was the wind redirection. Oh, wait. No, this is the one for start a book with a drink. So I'll probably drink some water since it's a very watery theme. And then the one that the wind picked for me is number 5. So you see my confusion. Okay, a sea setting for wave manipulation. I'm going with Maelstrom by Peter Watts. I read the first book in this series a few years ago. It was named Starfish, and it was pretty dark, but it was like a deep sea, and the people had body modifications to be able to live in the deep sea. So this is taking place after that. So they, still have those fishy type bodies, I guess. So very sea setting. All right, we got my color spin was purple, and I'm going with another Hawkeye. This actually might be the first one. My Life is a Weapon. I'm not sure, but that. All right. Find someone else's TBR, and oh, I cannot remember who I saw this, but I picked a random person. Oh, that's terrible, but I picked this off someone's TBR, but I don't know who they were. Salvation Day, and it's interesting. I've already read quite a few books with the same premise. This is like an AI ship, and there's some kind of disease or something that's killing people. So it reminds me of maybe like Illuminae and Contagion and Dead Silence. So yeah, so I think it's going to be similar to those, and I thought they were okay, so I'm going to try this one. And this is by Callie Wallace. All right, and then annotate this book. I thought this book was a good choice because it's already annotated by 2 fictional people. It's S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. And yeah, I actually don't know what it's about, but it's got this cover, and then the interior cover has like a sailing ship on it, so something. And it's got like neat things in it. I think the vlog where I read that one is probably going to be pretty interesting. So subscribe if you want to see that. Okay, and we've made it to the second page of the syllabus. Artificiary. I don't know how to read that, but okay. All right, so for the Arcane Engineering Level 1, a book featuring artificial intelligence, I'm going with A Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. This one looks super cute, and it's super short, so it fits with my 53 books in a month challenge for myself. Yes, so, it's Becky Chambers. I've seen this all over BookTube already. So, it says it's a monk and robot book. Looks pretty cute. But a robot and a tea monk traveling. Sounds adorable. Alright, foil on the cover. I chose The Godchild by Nana Alpharetta Ayam. And let me just grab this book because it's sitting right here. The reason I chose this one was the whole thing is foil. I don't know how well that shows up, but yeah, the whole thing is foil, so that's exciting. And it's about a woman who was a refugee at one point, or at least got thrown out of her country, and then she goes back after a while. So I'm really interested to see how that goes. How me reading that goes. All right, a second chance author. Okay, so this one's sort of second chance. The book that I had read before was the Southern Book Club. And I just got a little too angry with the Southern women, considering I live here. And I just DNF'd it, but I'll probably go back to it at some point. But this one, which looks like a horror story taking place in an IKEA, looks more up my alley. So, Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I'm really excited to read this one. Let's see, so a childhood favorite. This is one of my favorites as a kid. I haven't read it in a really long time, but Chocolate Fever by Robert Kimmel Smith. So, yep. And now we've made it to a graphic novel. Gonna read Jujutsu Kaisen 2. Volume 2 by Gege. Oh, this one's the one cover that was in Japanese, so I'm sorry I can't read that one, but I'll try to remember to read their name when I get to another volume. Okay. A cozy read. Another one I'm excited to read. Legends and Lattes. An orc and a succubus in a coffee shop. Sounds amazing. Travis Baldry. So, a book with colors similar to your flag. So, red, white, and blue. I'm going with Shortcake Cake. And I don't know anything about this, but it was red, white, and blue. And I wasn't looking forward to reading a red, white, and blue book for some reason, but this one caught my eye, so I picked it. Alright, a story featuring betrayal. I'm going with Heartwood Box by Anne Aguirre. It seems pretty thrillery, horror-like, so I'm sure there'll be some betrayal in there. It says, in this tiny, terrifying town, the lost are never found. So, and I think there's something about a science facility of some sort. So I was feeling some little Stranger Things vibe there. So I grabbed that. Desert setting. I went with Dune graphic novel. I DNF'd the Dune book, the Dune novel, but maybe the graphic novel will go better. I like the miniseries in the 90s and the new movie, so I'm hoping the graphic novel will go well. All right, let's see. Time Theory, story featuring time travel. When I saw this one, I got very excited. It's Time Was by Ian McDonald. And these two men, I think it's World War II, or I'm not sure, but it's either World War I or World War II, where they're working on time travel and they get lost in time and they're like trying to make their way to each other, and they like leave themselves clues and such. Leave the other one clues. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be really cool. And it's super short. Okay. A book with the same word in the title as your last read. I went with a very boring word of the, but the book won't be boring. It's The Snail on the Slope. So I'm really looking forward to reading the Roadside Picnic by these two brothers, Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. But this one has it's like people living in the woods and they're violent, I think, but chatty. I'm not sure. It's like a strange world as well. I don't think it's Earth, but it should be weird. Alright. A secondhand book. And I believe G said library books count for that, so All my books are going to be library books other than like 3 or 4. But I went with another manga, Tin Dance. So this one looks like it's going to be these two fighting, but also like teaching each other their particular dance. Oh, and I saw Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin read this, and he really enjoyed it, so I picked it up on his recommendation. So very cool. A single object as the focal point of the cover, and I had the most trouble with this one, but I finally found this little book. It's Antiquities by Cynthia Ozick, and I'm taking this as like the stamp of the school. That's what I'm assuming it is, because it's like a dean or a professor or something, like thinking about his time where he worked at the place that's now defunct. So, and now one of the oldest books on my TBR. This is also one that was on the chopping block of me getting rid of, because I either read the books and love them and keep them, or I never own them because they were library books. But anyway, this is The Fall. It's another. I'm like looking at the back of this white paper trying to read the back of the book, but it's The House of Usher. And I was also gonna read a book later on that's The House of Usher. So anyway, but this is The Fall from Becky Griffin. And I'm gonna read that. All right, now read a book in 2 sittings, 1 or 2 sittings. Of course, manga, many of them. Jujutsu Kaisen, Volume 3 by Gege Akutami. Sorry about that. So, Wings on the cover. This is one of my very few middle grades. I usually read a lot more, but I found so many novellas that I wanted to read this time. But this is the island at the end of the world. So this is another misplaced person, or like a person thrown out of their, where they're supposed to be living and want to live. Oh goodness. Kieran Millwood Hargrave. So, and this one is from the point of view of a little girl, so it's probably going to be pretty sad. A book released this year, The Employees. I think it's written like from the 22nd century, and it's like an employee's like memos and such. Seems interesting. By Olga Revin. And last one on the syllabus, which we're already at time of what I wanted my video to be, but a word anatomy in the title. This is like a three short stories, Anatomy of Curiosity, and each of these authors are talking about their way of creating stories. So that should be interesting. And then there's also the stories to read as well. All right, then we have the quest, and I might do these out of order because I dropped these before, and I don't know what order they're in now. Here we go. First one, potion testing. I went with another middle grade. It's the Night of the Wishes. Yeah, so it's by the same author that wrote The Never Ending Story, Michael End. So that was why I chose it. And it's got to do with a potion. Study buddy required. I went with The Singer's Gun. And I figured a thriller would have some morally gray characters in there. And it was like, there's the guy had, like, his family was a crime family or some such, but he wanted to leave that world behind. So I'm sure he's a morally gray type character. A historical fiction book. Grabbed another zombie one. I Am Scrooge. A zombie Christmas story. I'm a little early, but I was interested. Like, what? Okay. And here's another T. Kingfisher. The book featuring undead characters. The last book, one that I saw, the last video from G that I saw said something about this one having undead characters. So hopefully that's true. That's right, but the hollow places. Discreet help needed. Shrubbery on the cover. Kaiju Presentation Society. This one has kaiju and an alternate reality and people trying to save them, and then I guess the other people trying to release them into our reality. So pretty cool premise. Amphibian Wranglers Wanted. Author name starts with a B or F. And I thought this one was pretty funny because this is where you would go to catch some frogs. The River at Night. By Erica Finrashik. I apologize. Terrible me. Okay, so guild events preparations, a buddy read a book. I'm gonna count this one. What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This is my third T. Kingfisher, and I hope I enjoy her writing. Super want to. This cover is amazing. I mean, if this one goes well, I think I'll buy it because I love that cover. And let's see. Courier Needed, a book with a movie adaptation. I, Robot by Asimov. So I didn't realize, but this is short stories. So that's interesting. I've always liked the idea of it. This is the one I'm going to match an outfit to. Jujutsu Kaisen 5. That's called for Bounty Hunters. So you'll see me in an outfit in that fashion. Well, not the nakedness, but the background. Alright. And let's see. Paid Animal Therapy. This have multiple animals on the cover. And I have this one, number 4. And it has multiple different types of tropical fish swimming around. So I went with that one. It's a tropical fish yearns for snow. And for G's patron quest, it's like a cat quest. It was 3-word title, and I'm going with The Paradox Hotel by Rob Hart. So yeah, 53 books in August. Gonna make it happen. And I hope you join me for Magical Readathon. I hope you're reading, and I would love to see you here again. I know this one was pretty dry, but I'll have other ones that'll go better. I hope anyway. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and have a magical reading month.